We got Blake coming in. He's been on his bike, but now he's joining us.
Got it.
This Blake. I was thinking Blake Parkinson. It said Blake is coming in. No, Buttons. I know that. I know Blake Button. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. All right, let's get started. This is our 4th week. We have 8 total, so after tonight, we'll be halfway through. Hopefully you got your kits. You're gonna need these fancy new markers. They're washable, which is key for this printmaking. You're gonna need some water, and you'll also need a paper towel. Mine's kind of crumpled. At least one. Have a paper towel handy. Okay, we've talked a lot of elements, and we're gonna talk a lot more. So when I teach, I try to bring in as many elements of design, principles of art as I can, and we'll do some reviewing, and we'll do some new stuff, and printmaking is really fun, but it's really weird to do printmaking when I'm not with you, because I don't have all, so I figured out a new way to do it with these markers. Hopefully you all got one of these little guys too. I'll get an embossing tool. Mine walked away. Oh gosh, it's not gonna work without one of those. The heck? Did you get your embossing tool? Mine is gone. Hold on. Sorry. All right, I got another one. Mine is funky colors. Yours is probably black or brown. This is just what I use in the studio, so you'll need that too. So let's start with, first of all, some of us are asleep. So if you need to start with your lifesaver, go for it. Maybe a little bit of sugar will wake us up. Do it. Let's start with this, talking about the elements of line. We talked about that in our first lesson. We did Zentangles, and we're going to come back to this because lines are really important when you're doing printmaking. So this is just to warm us up, connect our eyes, hands, open our heart, start just continuing with these lines. And if you would like to add to them, that gets even better. But just kind of get into the zone. But if you feel like the in-between needs a new pattern or a new way, a pattern is when we repeat those lines over and over again. I'm using the markers. You can use colored pencils or whatever. So just get into a rhythm, because these can be incorporated into our project. And again, if you can see a way to add to those designs, and you can do that too. We've talked about Zentangles, the idea of while we are just repeating lines, we kind of get into that meditative state and kind of a calm, quiet, and then the lines start making themselves as we get moving. It's kind of doodling, Zentangling. All right. Oh, I see Zoe's joined us. So glad. Hi, Zoe. And Ashton is still out on his bike. Dang it. And London has some really delicious things she's eating. I love you. Candy corn and now pineapple? What is it?
Honeydew.
Honeydew. Is it good to eat honeydew after candy corn? Is it sweet or no? Sometimes when you eat really sweet candy corn, then it makes the fruit sour. No, it's okay. Good job. We all want some. Okay, I want to talk about symmetry. A lot of you who have been in my classes have heard about symmetry. You tell me, someone raised their hand. What does that mean to you when I say symmetry? Anybody know that word? Matt knows the word.
It means it's the same on each side.
Symmetry, same, symmetry. They all start with S. Perfect. The same on two sides or both sides. There's different kinds of symmetry. We talked a little bit about radial symmetry as well. We're going to get into that as well. Thank you, sir. So symmetry, if I can draw a line down the middle of something and have it be the same on both sides as if there's a mirror, then that would be symmetrical. So this is called a line of symmetry. Put your eyeballs on my screen for 1 second. If I can draw a line straight down, that's called a line of symmetry if it's the same on both sides. It's like a mirror. So these are like opposite of each other. So since I can find the line of symmetry, that is symmetrical. That one, I can take down right down the middle, line of symmetry, it's symmetrical, same on both sides. So radial symmetry is when you have several lines of symmetry. So I could cut it this way, same on both sides. I could cut it this way, same on both sides. I could cut it that way, or that way, or that way, or that way. Whole bunch of lines of symmetry. And this starts in the middle and moves out, doing the same repetition moving out. So that's called radial symmetry. So we've talked about that on the first one. We did mandalas. We're gonna do a little more with mandalas today with our printmaking. While you're working on this, find a color that you can divide down the middle of these that you think are symmetrical. So when I come down to this one, I can put that line right down the middle and it's the same on both sides. So these are lines of symmetry. Sometimes we're used to looking at them straight up and down, but sideways is okay. So while you're doing these patterns, identify those things that are also symmetrical. I know this is just a funny little worksheet. You probably feel like you're in school. I don't mean to make you feel like that with worksheets, but sometimes it helps us to just get in the rhythm of things. Also thinking of words that can describe different lines. Hey Zoe, have you seriously been tie-dyeing? Give it up right now. Are you kidding? That is so cute. Show me. I think I have you unmuted. Hi, Gab.
Hi, Shell.
There's my boy. Come here. Oh, man, that is rad. Will you make me win? That is so cute, Zoe. Dang, maybe we should do tie-dye for one of these classes. How fun would that be? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So fun. Will you guys all say hi to my boy? Gavin, put your face down here. There's
Hi, guys.
my boy. He's my little baby boy. He's so tiny. Hey, Gavin, put your head down. You know Peyton. Peyton Sexton, put your face in here.
No way. What's up, Peyton?
Hi, Gavin. Gavin and Peyton went to preschool together and used to have little play dates.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're all ridiculous.
There it is.
Yeah, you'd go over to her house or she'd come over to ours. So cute.
So fun.
How cute.
How's the art going?
How's what?
The art going?
It's good, you know.
Yeah.
Are you doing online school?
What?
Are you still doing online school?
Yeah, dude, it sucks. No fun whatsoever.
So funny, we're all connected here. So cute.
Flower.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay. Okay, so we should be pretty warmed up here. Let's pull out our sketchbooks. Does anyone want to hold theirs up and kind of show me where you're at? Like I said, it's hard when I'm walking. Oh, and there's Parker. Parker, woo, Gavin. Hi, where'd he go? Oh shoot, Gavin, really fast. Come here, quick. Come here, come here.
What?
Just say hi. Put your face in there.
We can't see them.
I know.
Oh wait, Parker, put your face
No
down.
way, is that
You
Parker?
gotta put your face down.
What's up, boy?
I can't see.
We can't see you guys.
Okay, let's put you like this.
Oh, there you are.
What's up, boy?
Yay!
Hey,
All of our
Parker, what
friends.
do you say we get a few rounds in on Xbox,
No,
man?
no.
I'm ready right now.
Go do your online school, Parker. Don't listen to him.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
done for the day.
No,
I
it's
just
not. I
woke
don't
up.
even think it started.
I just woke up.
Do you like what we did to his hair?
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
awesome.
think he's
Pretty
I
sweet.
don't know. How do you say it? I don't know.
I don't know. I know Jill saw, I think, but I don't know if Kevin.
Last week,
All right,
when
I'm
everyone
ready to run
started
some more
showing
zone.
Oh,
Bye.
I love you.
Hey.
Hey, you best be playing box later, yeah?
Goodbye. I'm doing
5
art.
minutes.
Goodbye. All right, I am sorry. Sorry, I got distracted. Show me your worksheet. Show me where you are with it. Hold them up and put them close. We're moving along here. Oh yeah, you're doing great. You know this stuff. All right, let's get into this because this printmaking is actually really fun. So grab your, can you guys see me? All right. Grab your sketchbooks. Let's think about all the lovely things we've learned so far. Oh, element of line. We talked about mandalas. We might do some more today. Positive and negative space and warm and cool colors. More positive and negative space. And that darling picture of your teacher. Can you believe how cute? Find your next blank page. Oh, Picasso, fun. Your next blank page, and now just use these designs, moving around, like we've talked about before, mandalas. I got a quick question here from Gabby and Zoe. Do you have a quick question?
I don't. So the printmaking, did we do that at sunrise?
Yeah, I think I did order foam and do it with pens. Today will be different because I don't have the brayers to give you, or today will be a little different. There's a million ways to print make. So yeah, you're ahead of the game, girl. You know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's start with your, start with a little circle in the middle. I'm just using markers and I'm kind of gonna change them around, and you can look at these or come up with your own, and you're just gonna wrap it. So getting into this Zentangle mode, mandala mode, design mode, element of line, all of these things are going to come into play into our printmaking. So be intricate and really deliberate with all of these little marks we make. And let's just build that for a little while. And kind of let your intuition guide your next mark. What is speaking to you? Broken lines, dotted lines, solid lines, continuous line, squirrely lines. Can use symbols repeated. So again, we're just kind of in our warm up, getting some of these concepts into play of a Zentangle, repetition, patterns, kind of brings your energy down. Raise your hand. Has anybody done any Zentangles outside of class since we've introduced that 4 weeks ago? Does anybody do that? Hallie, I love it. Miss Gabby, you're not in trouble if you don't. I just wonder. Sometimes it speaks differently to each of us, but we can kind of go in and out of trying different things. So back into this Zentangle idea. The cool part about the Zentangle is it's not like you teach it and you know it and so boom, you're done with it forever. The idea of a Zentangle is to come back to it often. That the book that I go by is 30 a Zentangle a day. The idea of doing it every single day for like 30 minutes, and it really does kind of calm your core and relieve stress levels and kind of inspire other things of in your art. Kind of like riding a bike. You don't just do it once and go, oh, now I know how to do that for the rest of my life. I'll never do it again. It's something that you find, if that's something you find joy in, you'll continue to repeat that activity. Don't be afraid to use broken lines, like symbols that are where you lift your pen up. Broken meaning you lift your pen up in between each little pattern. Continuous means you put it down and hold it down through the whole thing. You can create little symbols, repeat those. Some people make mandalas personal and they create mandalas to represent things about themselves. It's a fun way to do it. I like looking at these for inspiration, except it's hard to do it upside down. Again, going backwards, I feel like I'm writing with my left hand. All right, while you're working on that, I'm going to introduce another concept. It's a principle of design element. This is an element of art. There's 7 elements. And then principles of design, there's 7 principles. So, no, this one's an element of texture. Sorry. Texture, we're going to talk about. Symmetry is a principle. So that's a principle of design. Symmetry, radial symmetry. I'd like to talk to you about texture. Does anybody know the definition of the element of texture? What does that mean when I say texture? Let's see, Miss Katie, what is, oh, I hit it, I got it. No, you got it. Now you push it again.
Can you guys hear?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So it's like rough, smooth.
Ah, good. It's the way something, what?
Feels.
Perfect, the way something looks or feels. So pet your brother's head for a minute. Oh, nice little massage. Give me a word, how did that feel?
Crunchy.
Crunchy. You gotta lay low on the hair gel, buddy. Just kidding. I'm just teasing. Now you pet your sister. See, how does her hair feel? He does not want to touch. You are so rude. Okay, find something else around you. What is something else you can, so we had bumpy or crunchy. What's another word we can use?
Smooth.
Perfect. Yep, I love it. Smooth is a great word.
Rough.
Ooh, yum. You guys are, oh, you have the best snacks. You never share. It's so lame. Rough or kind of bumpy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep talking. So keep going on your mandalas and we'll just keep talking here. Thanks, guys. That was perfect. Anybody else? Texture is the way something looks or feels. Okay, so London's got a great one. Everybody has one of these. Hi, what do you think? Tell me about that.
Sponge.
Sponge. Rough. Rough when it's dry. How is it going to feel when it's wet?
Wet.
Wet. Perfect. Slimy, wet, bumpy, rough, lots of different words. Perfect. Anybody else have a word? A texture word, something, the way something feels. Hi, Miss Macy.
Water when it's water, it's wet.
Perfect. Water is wet. Tell me something else. Ooh, behind you has the coolest texture. So look at Macy's screen. What's going on there?
That?
Go touch that. Is it a frame or a painting?
It's it's kind of, it's like a frame-ish.
When I look at that, I can see a lot of texture. I'm curious to see how it actually feels. Oh, nice centering.
It's like, it has some holes in it, or it's really bumpy.
Bumpy. Awesome. Okay, so this takes us to this next part. Thank you for sharing. That is so perfect. Did you put that up just for me because you knew I'd be talking about texture today? Yes, I did that for you, Jill. It's so fantastic. So texture can come in two ways. Texture can be actual texture, so you touch it and it actually feels a certain way, just like you felt that frame or that picture back there or his hair. Or there's visual texture, and that is where you're creating texture that looks like it feels a certain way, but it doesn't actually feel that way. So actual and visual. So I'd like to show you a couple of pictures. So that was perfect to have that frame. All right, put your eyeballs on my screen for just a minute. So here's texture. There's smooth and rough and soft and hard, woven, bumpy, lumpy, rigid, jagged. All of these things, all of those are words of texture, kind of describing the way something feels, okay? So now that we got the language of texture, this is actual texture. This is actually a piece of bark that somebody painted on, which means if you were to walk up and touch it, it actually feels rough or bumpy. So actual texture is actually 3D. It's like sticking out or poking in, okay? How about that? This is interesting. It's like a Van Gogh style. He used so much oil paint that it actually stuck out and gave both visual and actual texture. Actual meaning you could touch it and you could feel those bumps. Very vibrant. This is oil paint done with a palette knife, also giving the idea of texture, and this is actual texture. It feels bumpy if you were to touch it. There's a little embossing. We're going to actually do that for one of our lessons. So hold on to that tool I gave you. You can tell if you were to rub your hands on those, they would be bumpy. So all of this is actual texture. The other idea is if you try to, oh look, this reminds me of our Picasso. Noodles and yarn. I see bumpy, I see rough, I see rigid, I see jagged, I see smooth, lots of words all in one. Actual texture. So the other way is if you draw in a way that looks like it has texture. So maybe you're looking at a piece of bark or a brick or water and you try to draw in a way that implies the texture. So that's, you can use the word implied texture or visual texture. So if I were to touch this piece of paper, it's an iPad, but it would be smooth. But if I had the actual thing, look at this hand. Look at all the ways to create texture. It looks furry or cracky or bumpy. Isn't that interesting? So this is called visual texture or implied texture. How about this? Those fingers actually look furry. That's a pretty amazing artist that they can draw in a way that looks, it's giving you the feeling of texture, even though it's just a pencil, right? We looked at the picture from, I'm gonna pull it up, from last time that artist is pretty good to be able to draw the hair in a way that it looks smooth. It looks like hair. It looks like I could touch that and feel hair. Okay, so there's two words I gave you. I gave you actual texture and implied texture, or visual. Implied and visual, that's the same thing. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to do some printmaking that it will create actual texture, and when printed, it gives visual texture. So first of all, while you're doing this mandala, see if you can add another layer that shows visual texture or implied texture that's going to be jagged or bumpy or like a piece of wood. So see if you can add at least one more layer that looks like one of those things I just showed you. There's a million ways to do this. I'm just thinking of one. This is me trying to be wood. So try to give another layer to your mandala that has that texture. Is this making sense? Are we doing okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're doing okay. I gave you a lot of vocabulary. Perfect. Does anybody have something they're working on that's feeling like visual texture, or you can give me an example of that? Anybody want to share? Claire, will you share what you're working on? Do you want to share? I've got you. There you go. You're unmuted. Oh, nice. Mandala. That's awesome. Good job. I see broken lines and straight and bumpy and curvy and pokey and all the words all in one. Doing great. How about Peyton? Do you want to share too, little Missy over there? You don't have to. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Nice. She's filling in the details. Really cool. Have you done this before?
No, she hasn't.
No.
She's right now.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Does anybody else have something they want to share that might make sense? Maybe. Holly and Eli, do you guys want to share what's going on over there? Oh, beautiful. Oh, wow. So intricate. Gosh, you guys, wow. And Eli, that looks like texture. It's very pokey. Like it would be sharp to touch. Those are awesome.
I think they got it.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, whoa, check it out. You filled that whole thing. You know what I love about that is you did not stop when you hit the boundaries or the edges. It's like you kept going. It feels like we just took a snapshot of it, but it feels a lot bigger than your pages because you didn't stop. Yeah, you are understanding positive and negative space in a big way. That's amazing. Good job. Thanks. Okay. Anyone else want to share about these cute girls? You guys want to share what's going on over there? Miss Lily and Gwen, do you want to share your mandalas or no? You don't have to.
Yeah, sure.
She says no, and she says, yeah, sure. It's great. Whatever you do. Ooh, bricks. Yeah, interesting. Nice designs, very fluid. You're coming up with your own. You doing okay over there, Gwen? Yeah? Perfect. I don't ever want anyone to feel on the spot by me calling you out. Nobody ever has to share if you don't want to, by the way. Griffin, do you want to share? Thumbs up or down? She says no. How about you, Giles? Do you want to share? Oh yeah, he's bringing it in. Awesome. Hold it up there. Oh yeah, that's great designs. You just use pencil. I love it. Good work, pal. Are you enjoying it?
Mm-hmm.
When you really get connected into these lines and design, you usually feel pretty calm. Good job, everybody. Hey, you're twirling and twirling and twirling. What are you working on? Twirling?
Something
Just twirling? How's your mandala?
sad.
Sad or good?
Sad.
Sad. Oh, sweetie. Do you want to show me?
Nope.
It's probably not getting any better with your twirling sponge. But sometimes, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. You're a funny one, Miss London. All right, so thank you. Thank you for sharing your twirling. It's awesome. We're talking about twirling and swirly and whatever, so it's perfect. So now that we know these couple of words, we got texture down, we got line down and patterns, positive and negative space, we're gonna move into our printmaking where we're going to carve and make actual texture. When we print, it gives the visual texture. So I wanna just show you what it would look like. This is one of Gavin's pieces when he broke his leg a few years ago. He stayed at my mom's while I was teaching and she did some woodcuts with him. So that's a piece of wood. And this little tool is so fun, by the way, but it's really sharp. And I don't feel very comfortable in giving everybody really sharp tools when I'm not there and paying attention. So a real woodcut would mean you would take this and you dig down and it pulls out the wood. It carves it out and it is so fun and so satisfying. You can see he dug really deep around these corners. And there's different blades that you can put on that are shaped in different ways. So when he inks that, okay, so now he has actual texture. I touch this and it's rough. I can feel where it indents down that he's cut away, okay? So then you take a brayer and you roll it on ink and you roll up that wood and the ink goes all over, okay? Where he's dug out, somebody raised their hand. When he prints, is that dug out part going to be, if I use black ink, will the dug out part be white or black when I print the paper on it? Anybody know? Has anybody done printmaking where they would know what would happen? Gwen, talk to me. Let's see, undo you. Oh, there you go.
The edges would be white because it's down and the ink can't get to it.
Yeah, say that again one more time, a little louder. Say it one more time.
The outline of the shark would be white because the ink can't get to it when you put it on the paper. It also doesn't touch the paper.
Perfect. Awesome. You have done this printmaking before. So that's important to be aware of because what you carve is going to be white. So I ink this with black ink, then I take a paper and line it up, and then I rub and pull it apart. And now we've got mirrored symmetry, but do you see how that outline of the shark is perfectly white? Because that's where it's dug down, just like Gwen said, that's a canal. The ink can't get to it, the paper just sits on top. So every time he's made one of these digs, so put your eyes on the screen for 1 second, all those digs are going to be white because they don't hold the ink. What another fun type of printmaking is to take linoleum. And you take that sharp thing and it carves out and makes your lines that way. And once my studio opens up again, where I can have students in here, I want to work with you older kids with this linoleum. These are the funnest prints, really cool. But it's not today. We don't have those, so I gave you foam, and we're going to do some printmaking on the foam, and we're going to carve it with our little tool, our little embossing tool. So basically, we're going to dig down and make little grooves in that foam. And where we do the grooves, it will show up white, okay? Those are block linoleum prints, so fun. We're gonna do that one day. So you carve it down, and then the print comes from there. So I'm gonna get started. We're gonna do a mandala print. And I'm gonna show you what it will look like and why. So I'm going to carve out, I gave you 4 of these little squares. So you should have 4. And I gave you 4 squares that are white. So you potentially have 4 pieces of art out of this. And these can all be different designs. So the first one we're going to try together, and we're going to think of this mandala. We're going to think of the mandala in 4s. Ready? It's like I cut it in 4. And I'm going to just draw in my square 1/4 of that. And I'm going to print it 4 times, and I'm going to rotate it around so that it becomes a mandala. Like so. All right, put your eyeballs on the screen. I started in a corner, and I dug it out, and I moved all the way out till I filled the whole thing. And then you fill it with marker, and I'll show you the printmaking part after, but I wanted you to see the big picture so you know why you're carving in this way. Then you're going to take where you started and put it in the middle and print it. Then you ink it up again, and then you rotate it and print it again, and you keep going till you have a full tile. This is the same little tile, but I used it opposite. I used the outside pieces. So I turned it around and printed it that way. And that, I think, makes a really cool tile, don't you? And then all of those designs line up, and you'll create a mandala. So this was pointed that way, and then on this one, it was pointed that way. So what you're going to do first is take your blank piece of paper, and we're going to do a little trial run first. If you want to do this with me, you can. Take your square and trace it on here. This is a scratch paper. It's not for printing. It's just for our design work today, and we're going to do a lot of designing first. So this isn't in our sketchbook. You should have one of those in your kit. It's just a regular drawing paper. Okay, so take one of those little squares, and you can use a pencil if you'd like. You can use a Sharpie so you can see, and just come up with a 1/4 of a mandala design. So what I suggest is by starting in this corner, starting in one corner, and then moving out with some of those same designs that we've already done. So you can keep building this. And the more lines and the more texture you have, the more interesting it's going to be. So here's a basic design. I did that kind of fast, but you can see I started in the corner and moved out. So it's just like a quarter of a circle. It's not the entire thing. So it will be a full mandala after you print it 4 times. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if you're with me. Is it making sense to you? Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Grifflin. Awesome, Hallie. Thanks, Macy. London just gives me a, sometimes it's hard when I'm not right in the space with you to kind of see what you're doing. Okay, so after you have a design figured out, then you're going to start your carving. Now, I don't want you to start carving until you have kind of an idea, because this little guy, after you, this foam is kind of fragile. Notice if you bend it or your fingernail gets on it or whatever, it's a little fragile. It's not, it's that mark will show up in your print. So you want to be careful with that. And as soon as you start making marks with your embossment tool, you can't erase them. They'll be in there. So work with it. If you make a mistake, you got to just go with it. So when I'm ready to do the actual embossing, put your eyeballs on Miss Jill for 1 second. I know you're not all quite with me, but I want you to see. This tool has they have a little ball on the end. I want you to find the end that has the bigger one. Okay, so that one for Miss Jill, I'm gonna use that one. This one on mine is pretty tiny and it's gonna cut my foam. So hold your embossment tool up and find the one with the biggest little ball there on the end. So that side's the bigger one for me. So each time you pick up that embossment tool, be sure they're different on both sides. So make sure you're paying attention and you're picking the side that is bigger, okay? And then you're gonna go for it. I'm not gonna have you draw on this first. I want you to just go for it with confidence with this, but you have to push pretty hard. You gotta groove into it. It's the groove that will create the white mark. But if you push too hard, you will rip it. The foam is not invincible. So if you're pressing with all your muscles in the whole wide world, you will break it. So printmaking is just kind of one of those things that you have to get a feel for. You have to push hard enough. Oh, I'm ripping it. You gotta go slow. All right, put your eyeballs on the screen. Can you see Miss Jill's? I ripped it there in the middle. You want to fill the entire piece. You want lines and texture on the entire piece of foam. Fill it till you get to the edge, okay? Do you have a question, Zoe? Gabby, I can't hear you. Hit unmute.
Got my question.
Did you have a question, Gabby?
I forgot my question.
Oh, I ignored you for way too long and now it left your brain.
Yeah.
Do you guys have your embossing tools and do you have your little foam? You doing okay?
I lost hers. It fell and I don't know where it went. So I'm using Zoe's.
Look at the tie-dyed hands on Zoe. That's awesome. That is a productive day, girl. You have had a good day. I love it. All right, maybe Zoe will share. She's the nicest sister I know.
Sure, what? Oh, that?
Yeah,
She's got mine.
maybe it's somewhere. Sorry. You can use a ballpoint pen too. I like these because the tip is, that ball's a little bit easier to work with. Give me thumbs up, thumbs down. How are we doing? Is this making sense? All right, Grifflin, thanks for the feedback. I need to I see you. Yes, thanks, Macy. You doing okay, Claire? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Yes, that's an up. Perfect. Can we just talk about Josie for a minute? Hi, Josie. Hi. Hi. Welcome to art. I'm so happy to see you. Are you going to do some printmaking with us, Josie?
Josie, are you coloring?
Are you going to do art?
She wants my markers.
You're so sweet. She's the cutest thing. You guys have the greatest family. It's so darling. How's it going for you, Miss Hallie? You're working hard. Is it
Okay.
okay? Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah? How about you, Eli? Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Good job.
Mom.
After I have carved from one end to the other, then I'm going to take my markers and color from one end to the other. You want to cover the entire foam, the entire piece of foam. It's key you use washable markers because they're going to transfer to your paper. Anybody have one they want to show us? Or are you still just working? Ooh, nice, Miss Katie. Thank you. Bring it on in. Let's see this. Oh my gosh, show that again. That's awesome. You have to kind of angle it so we can see it in the light. Yeah, amazing. Awesome. Look how careful you're being. You're so deliberate with each line and each dot. And that's going to turn out so cool. I'm really excited. Yeah. Oh, you grown-up kids are pretty amazing. You always take it to the next level. How are you doing, Matt?
Good.
Yeah? You enjoy using that little tool?
Yeah.
We're going to use that tool again with clay. We'll do clay next week, and that works great, making texture on clay. Notice how I'm taking these subjects, teaching texture, and then adding texture to clay. Next week it'll be fun. So hold on to those. Don't lose those little embossing guys, okay?
Okay.
Good to see. Oh, kids make me so happy. I know I'm obnoxious. I say it over and over, but man, seriously, I feel lucky to call you all my friends. So thank you for being my friends. Jai, you want to share what you got going? Let's see it, pal. Hey, you are moving right along. Awesome. Okay, now listen, you took a different approach. You have fantastic lines and designs going in every direction. And then you just took a blanket color like the rainbow across. Such an interesting way to do that. I love it. And what's great about it, Jai, is you can do it differently each time and kind of play with how you want to add color.
Yeah.
Love it. Fantastico. Who's in that room with you? Is your great mom over there?
Hi.
Put your face over here right now.
Oh.
Yay! Hi!
How are ya?
I'm good. Oh, I miss you. What the heck?
It's like old home week. It's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love this.
We're
kid.
having a good time.
He's the best. You know that?
I like him.
Thanks for showing your face. I just feel now that I'm like, have a friend. So nice. You're my friend too, you know. Okay. Anybody else have something that they want to share or put up? Still working? Let's see, Miss Gabby, do you want to share what you got going? Let me see if I can undo you, but go ahead.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works. Let's see it.
I don't know how well.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Okay, now fill in, be very, put a lot of ink on it if you can.
Okay.
You want to fill, you kind of want it juicy if you can. So put a lot of marker into it.
Okay.
And you'll want to cover the entire thing with marker. Of course, the marker isn't going to take where you've dug in the texture pieces, but you want to make sure all the white pieces have marker on top of it. Okay. London, do you want to share what you got going? How's it going? Do you want to share? Let's see. Ooh, not, oh my gosh, you're being so deliberate. That's amazing. That's gorgeous. That's going to make really cool prints. Good job. You enjoying it? It's kind of fun to work with texture. Griffin, did you ever find your brother? Oh, thank you.
He went on a bike ride,
Okay, he's probably with Blake Parkinson.
probably.
I don't know. She texts me, she's like, I can't get Biden. He's on a bike ride. He lost track of time. How's yours going?
Pretty, kind of good-ish.
Do you want to share?
Well, the first one I did was that. I didn't really finish it.
Oh, interesting.
You
Okay.
can't really see the line, but,
Yeah.
and then the second one, I'm just doing this.
Let's see it.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, sometimes if you tip it, I can catch it. And oh, I got it. I got it. Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to make, so when you use symmetry in it, it's going to make for a fantastic mandala by printing 4 times. Yeah, you're doing great. Are you enjoying it?
Yep.
Yay. Did you wake up a little?
Well, kind of.
Yeah, maybe just take a little nap. That's okay too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. Even if you're tired, I'm glad you're here. Okay, thank you for sharing. So, whoa. Not sorts of- Okay, they have a background going. They're crazy. Okay, it's 5, so we're at the hour mark. Take a minute to just get your piece to this, to where you've carved and you've added the color, and then take a little break. So grab a drink of water, grab your mint, do a little stretch, and I will do the demo right after we take a little break. So you got to move occasionally so you don't fall asleep, so your body parts don't fall asleep. So stretch, reach up, wiggle hands, do what you need to just get the blood flowing a little bit. Have a drink of water, have a mint. Yeah. Oh. I made you a little, there's sourdough bread that you can use in that for the one on top is Rachel's and it's Okay. I kind of give me a gauge as to where you are. If you have it carved and colored, and there's no rush to this, but if you're there, give me a thumbs up. Hallie is there, and Matt, and Claire. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and do the demo. I think a couple people took a break, so we'll wait till they come back. How is Gwen and Lily? Are you guys with it? Yeah, still working. It's okay. This isn't to rush anybody, and everybody's designs will take different times, right? So I don't ever, it's just hard when I'm not right next to you to know kind of how fast to move or slow, but I can do the demo and you can get to it whenever you want. Okay, I think we're waiting for Macy to come back. Did everybody get a little snack or a little wiggle? Get a drink, eat your lifesaver if you haven't already. There's my cute girl, Macy. Okay. All right, put your eyeballs on me for a minute. So take a break from what you're doing. Wiggle your fingers while you watch Miss Jill for a second, okay? So this is where it gets kind of fun. To start, I'm gonna use a Sharpie. I would use a pencil if I were you, but you'll want to find, I found the square paper. I gave you a stack of rectangular papers, and those will go with this paper or this foam. Okay, so this is one design and 6 prints from that one design. So leave that in a stack. And then you've got 4 littles of these and 4 of the squares. So be sure you're grabbing the right paper. The square is the one that we need right now. So I'm going to just eyeball a dot in the middle, and I would just use a pencil if I were you, but I'll do a Sharpie so you can see. So eyeball, so you're dividing space from top to bottom in the center and left to right in the center. And then that helps us line up when we go to print. Now, printmaking can be frustrating because it's a process you have to try a few times to get a feel for how much water, how much marker, too much water, too little, and all those factors go into making a good print. So I'm gonna do the best I can to show you through a screen how much is enough water. So I'm ready to print. I've carved, and I carved pretty deeply, and I've covered the whole thing with marker. So put your eyeballs on Miss Jill and just get a feel, if you can, for the amount of water, because this is important. So I'm gonna dump it in. Now, if I pull it straight out, you can see it's just streaming water, and that's too much. So if you have this much water that it's gonna drip across your table as you go to your paper, then it's too much. Okay, so I'm gonna, if I reach it in, and if I squeeze it all the way out, I can really give it a good squeeze, and now it's almost dry. Now I don't have enough water. Okay, so I'm trying to show you the 2 extremes. Watch me one more time, this will be just right. So I fill it up and maybe just kind of squish it in half. Okay, it's not dripping all the way over, but it's not totally dry. So the biggest trick for this printmaking is figuring out too much water and not enough. So now watch me. I'm gonna print this design, and what I've just worked on, the first one is the mandala thing we're trying. So I'm gonna print this 4 times. So I'm only going to wet the part that I'm printing. So I'm gonna start with this bottom piece, and I'm gonna wipe it a couple of times, and I'm just getting that quarter. I only wet what I'm gonna print, just the quarter of that paper. Now I'll take this And do you see where I started my design? See the corner where I started? And not all of you have this design, and it's okay if you don't. But pick the corner and then stay with that corner each time you print. And line it up next to that dot. Try to get it straight. Once it's down, this is really important. Watch Miss Jill's fingers. I'm pushing pretty hard because I'm trying to transfer and press that marker, the color, into the paper and the water. And I'm pushing all around on all the corners. Okay. And there's my print. So you can see how much came off because I had enough water. Okay, is this making sense, friends? You get it? So the water goes on the paper, not on the foam. If you put the water on the foam, you're gonna wipe it right off. So the water you put on the paper and then you press it into it. Geez, Buttons, look at you, little overachiever. That's awesome. Wow, that is gorgeous.
Did we just recolor it?
Yes, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Hold it up again. All of those textures, all of those lines, they all showed up white, and that is fantastic. Gosh, yes. So listen, my friend, Katie. Oh, we gotta go this way. Before you recolor, this is an important step, okay? After I've printed, now is where my paper towel comes in. You're gonna want to rub over that foam without breaking it and make sure it's not wet. If it's wet at all from pressing onto this, then it won't take the marker well. It kind of messes up the marker. So use your paper towel, dry it, and now we're trying to do that again. And I'm actually gonna try to repeat that same pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna look at my print and look at my little guy and try to stick with the same colors if I want a true mandala. But if you have another sense of design, that's okay too. There's no right or wrong. I just try to show you ideas and ways to do these things, but it doesn't, you don't have to do it like I'm doing it. So that's always the answer. Whoa. Let's see. So now I'm going to try to get those colors kind of the same that I did the first time. And then it's the same process. After I have the color, you want to make sure you have the right amount of water. I'm going to squeeze about half of it out. And now you're going to pick which corner you're going to print on. Don't let the water get on top of your original design because it will smear it. Now I'm going to try to line that same corner that I did this one. I'm going to line it up again. And this last piece is really important to take time to really press into the foam. And there's number 2. And then I'll try it again and again, and I'll have 4. Let's see, London, how is it working?
It didn't work.
Oh, good. I'm so glad I had somebody who said, hey, it didn't work. Let's talk about it, because this is how printmaking works. And this is what's great about printmaking is we get a million chances. So what about that didn't work? Was there too much water, too much marker, not enough?
I think I put too much marker on.
Did you just use one color or did you use a couple?
I just used one color.
one color of the black. It's kind of a cool design. Let me see, because I'm seeing the white things come through. Okay, so wipe it off and try again. And if you want to use your sponge or the paper towel to actually kind of rinse that thing off or rinse it under the sink, you can, and just make sure it's dry before you add marker again. And maybe you'll try different colors next time, or you'll use more water or less water or less, yeah. Why don't you use that paper as kind of a trial? And you've got other papers that you can keep going on too. This is what's great about printmaking. It allows us a lot of tries. Okay, so don't feel like a failure because you didn't get it the first time. It's hard. Printmaking is tricky, and it's also tricky to do when you're just trying it on your own and kind of trying to get a feel. You know, when I'm with you in the studio, I can touch your piece and say, oh, it needs a little more or a little less. So you're doing great. Give it another try, see what happens. It's fun to just experiment. Do you have something to share, Pappas? Is this working for you?
Zoe's turned out, but mine didn't.
Let's see, Zoe.
Fell.
Ooh, pull it up here. Let's see. Hey, whoa, there you go. That's a completed mandala, and it looks just like your shirt. What happened with yours, Gabby? We can talk about that. Do you want to talk about it? Troubleshoot? What'd you say?
She put too much water.
Yep, and that will do it. And so that's where we're learning. So you've got more paper, try it again, and this time use less water. That's the beauty of this, is we can try over and over, and we're just trying to.
We have another question though.
Go for it.
So we're getting a puppy, and we don't know what to name it.
Yes.
Zoe wants to name it Theo, and I want to name it Leo.
Oh.
So we want everyone to help us decide.
Okay, at the end of class, we're going to have everybody chime in on the puppy name, okay? I
Okay.
think you should call it Mandala. That's cute. What's wrong with that? You should name it Jill, probably. That would be a great name. Yeah. Any other success stories or stories that aren't working? Oh my gosh, Claire, holy smokes, what is happening over at Claire's house? What? Oh my gosh. Have you done printmaking before? This is ridiculous.
No.
What do you mean no? How did you nail it? I gave you 4 pieces so you could try it, because usually the first time is hard. That looks awesome. Amazing. Why did it work so well, Claire?
Because I used the right amount of water and marker.
You nailed it on your first try. I can't believe it. You must have a fantastic teacher. Just kidding. How's that cute Peyton doing? Good job, Claire. How's Peyton doing?
Mom took over again.
Okay. Hi, Marianne. I love it. You cute family. Good job. Okay, it looks like you're ready to go on to the next one. I'd like to show, I know everybody's not here. I'd like to show you the next step. So for those of you who are ready to move forward, does anybody have another mandala they would like to share quickly that is working? Does anyone have one to pull forward before I move on to this next piece? Matt, can you show what you got going? And then I want to show our next one. Oh my gosh, these are awesome! Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, amazing. Yeah, how did you nail that? Have you done a lot of printmaking? Jeez.
I've done some in school, but we were doing it with ink.
I'm pretty impressed. It's kind of fun with the markers. I've never done it with markers, but I had to think out of the box since I didn't have the printmaking ink I could give to everybody. Are you enjoying this part?
Yeah.
Kind of fun because you can mix it up each time. It turned out, man, that is amazing. Hey, Matt, wouldn't it be cool to print again, kind of like Miss Jill did? I did it backwards. So look at my 2 different pieces. one, that little point is pointing on the outside, like the one you just finished, and one is pointing on the inside. And then you put these together. I mean, see how, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it can get kind of fun. Okay, I'm going to show you the next part, and I want to challenge you to try this idea too. A master printmaker is a guy named Andy Warhol, and you've probably heard that name before. He came after Picasso, obviously, because Picasso, as I told you last week, kind of gave permission to all the artists after him to try new things and to be bold, and there were kind of no rules. So he got into printmaking. Here's the famous Marilyn Monroe. So he created a screen print, and that's done with a process like your t-shirts are made. You know how you go to Target and like Matt's t-shirt that has the big Under Armour? They've made one screen with that Under Armour, and then they've printed 5 million t-shirts from that one screen. And they might have done 100 green and 100 blue and 100, but printmaking allows us to do the same design over and over again by just creating one design. So he created a screen, and did the screen print. Whoa, it's jumping on me, jumping around. Okay, so there's an Andy Warhol. He was he was a pop culture artist, pop art they called it. And then he would take that same design and look at what he did with the same design over and over with different colors and what kind of emotion that gives you by using the same design but different colors. So our next image, you can draw whatever you want. It doesn't have to be in the form of a mandala. Keep in mind the little lines matter and the texture matters. And draw one design and then print it 4 times in different colors each time. You could do a donut and do it 4 different times. How cute is that strawberry? Look at that nice little texture in that strawberry. Look at the colors. What are the colors we got here? Blue and orange are complementary, and purple and yellow. They were very strategic in putting those complementary colors next to each other, made it pop. How cute is that bike? So your next job is to try carving. Here's one that I did of a donut, and then I printed it 4 times and created kind of the Andy Warhol pop art type idea. And you can do whatever image you want. You could do food, you could do, I did a little strawberry. You could do a little face. But what I do suggest you do is before moving on to your foam, let's do what we did last time. Take a new piece of foam and put it on this paper here and trace it. I'm not doing very well because I'm reaching in a weird way. And come up with a design first. Just give it 3 minutes even will make a difference so that you have a little more confidence when you go right to the embossing tool and your foam. So create a cute little design, and maybe yours is abstract. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm gonna do a chicken. I don't know why. Is it a chicken? Is it a duck? I don't know what it is. But get a feel for a design there first, and then you know what to do. Go ahead with your embossing tool. I'm gonna put that up so you can see the idea of our Andy Warhol. All right, prints everywhere. There you go. All right, I've done a little talking here with our next demonstration. Give me some hands up or thumbs down or whatever. Does it make sense what we're trying again? And again, I give you ideas, but if you have your own, just go for it. Is this making sense? Macy's like, yes, she knows what she's doing. You are all such confident little artists. I love it. Jai, you could do a cool skateboard and print it over and over. The cool thing about printmaking is really you create one design, and after you get a really cool design, if you put enough energy into it, it might be something that you print over and over. When I was in college, I worked for a printmaker, and the guy was so interesting. Mike Stidham was his name, and he loved to fish and paint fish. And that's all. He loved to fish and paint fish. And so he would take off and he would go up to the Provo and he would fish for hours, and then he'd come back into his studio and he'd paint fish. And he'd do these great big beautiful oil paintings of underwater fish and trout and whatever. And he could sell one oil painting for, I don't know, $4,000, okay? But then he would do these prints, and he used the process called etching. So there's woodcuts. Etching is where you get a big, or it doesn't have to be big, but his were big metal plates, and he would paint his design with a paintbrush and acid, and the acid would carve into the metal, and that is what created that little groove. So instead of carving with a woodcut, that acid burned down and took away the metal. Then he would hand the plate to me, and I'd roll it up with his great big rollers and ink and this great big press, and I'd roll it through, put a watercolor paper, print it, and I would maybe make 30 of the same thing. And then I would go and hand watercolor, so you can do multimedia too, where you add stuff on top of it. And he would show me kind of like a paint by numbers, how he wanted it painted. Then I would sit and paint each one. He would sign each one. And now we had 30 prints of the exact same, maybe they were like little dry flies, okay, from his fishing. And he'd have like 30 prints of them. And he would number them and sign them. I did all the printing, and he could sell each one of those for, I don't know, I think maybe $500. So now do the math. Now he has $500 per print, but he has 30 prints. So now he just made $15,000 off of one print instead of doing one oil that was $4,000 or $5,000. So printmaking can be lucrative for artists because they can print the same thing over and over, and it's still considered an original piece of art. They'll number them, and each piece is still a little bit different. I'm just gabbing away. Who has something to share? I think Katie did, and now I get Kelsey's face too. Do you want to share another one? Hi.
So when we are doing the printmaking, I saw that your donut had like different colors on each one.
Yeah.
Are we like trying to erase it and then do it a different color?
Exactly, and that's what's great about these prints. Oh gosh, are you kidding? That's so cool. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, I love it. A goldfish, of course. Yes. Katie, I would suggest doing a background color too. And Kelsey's face is rad, by the way. It's great. Okay, Kelsey, keep your face. It's a good one. Thanks for jumping in. She's in my yesterday's class, or Mondays, or I lose track what day it is, what day it is. Yes, I am doing instead of trying to do the same thing like I did with the mandala, now I'm trying to do it differently. Every print is a little bit different. So that's the Andy Warhol style. And you can do that on that little foam if you that's why you need that paper towel. Just be sure to rub it or wipe it off. You may use a little water too if you need to dip the paper towel in water. Anybody else have some great prints they want to show us? Come on. I know you're doing great stuff. I know it. Who has some great prints? Macy, I haven't seen your face for a minute. What have you got going over there?
I'm kind of just playing with the sponge right now.
Okay, that's okay. Did any of the prints work when you did the mandala?
Well, one of them kind of I used a little bit too much water and a lot of the.
Ooh, okay, but listen, Look how different it turned out because you printed differently. Some artists purposely try to make every print from the same foam or original carving. They try to make it different, and then it's like its own piece of art. So sometimes that's it, like on purpose. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll try a new piece of foam, get a new design, start a fresh one. Let's see it. Or just play with the sponge. That's totally fine too. There are no rules in art school, okay? Just so you know. Miss London, what's going on? Oh gosh, is that, hold on, I don't have you undone. Oh yes, I do. Let me see. So cute. Wow, that's adorable. I love the texture you got on the outside. The cone has, it looks like implied texture. That to me looks like it's a cone. It's awesome. So are you gonna do a new color on the next one? Yeah. So go ahead, make sure it's wiped down real well. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
You're the best. You know that? How's your mom doing? Is she around there? What's she making me for dinner today?
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip? Is that what you said? All right, let's see here. Grifflin, do you want to share what's going on? You look busy over there. Stretch.
I am so tired.
Oh, sweetie. Were you at
Okay.
Fortnite with Gavin and Ashton, or Gavin and Parker till?
I watch Parker play a lot, but
You
I
do?
don't play.
They are ridiculous, I am telling you.
Yeah, he yells a lot. So okay, so I'm not doing the thing because I'm so confused on it because I don't know what to do.
Okay.
So I just did this.
Oh my gosh. So I just did this, she says. Jeez. Louise, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Oh my
just do it like
gosh.
that. Or,
Okay, you keep facing there. Oh my gosh. That is incredible. This, like, the concentration you have going, amazing.
thanks.
It's like a string of little flowers. Are you enjoying it?
Yes, it's really fun making it.
Ah, you are so sweet. I love that you kids are so confident that you just get into that inner space and you listen to it. And if that's what's calling you, you go for it. And that's a really amazing habit to figure out in your life, is to always listen to that inner artist heart. It's always right. So yes, like I said, I try to share different techniques and different elements and teach some of the things here, you know, whatever, some of the things I know about art. But my favorite thing is seeing what you bring to the table, because you always inspire me and blow me away. So cool stuff. Thank you. What a sweet class. How are these little cuties? Do you guys want to share what you got going? Hi. Hi. Oh, yes! The hamburger and the mandala, you guys! Whoa! Amazing! Dang, those turned out so cool. I want a skirt with Gwen's design, and Andy Warhol would be so proud of you. His belief was to take ordinary items, so he would do cans of soup. Have you seen his Campbell's cans of soup? A can of soup. Like, does that even sound fun? No, but he thought it was great. I gotta show you a picture of one. He would take ordinary items, let's see, and he would make art out of them, like a hamburger. Whoever thought of a hamburger as a piece of art? What? I'm telling you, Andy Warhol would have. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Okay. He would take this. Okay, look up here. This is Andy Warhol. So he would take a Campbell's condensed tomato soup, and he would make this 6 feet tall, huge, and do these screen prints a can of soup. And it became known as pop art. And it made the ordinary really fun. You change the colors, you would print them differently. So Andy Warhol would really appreciate, check this out. Is that cool? Whoever thought a can of soup could be so interesting to look at? And he became so famous for his screen prints and that pop art. And I know it sounds silly, but the idea of making something ordinary be extraordinary, that's what an artist does to things. Is you look at a design and you add your magic and it becomes magic. You take a hamburger and you add color and you add your magic and now you've got something extraordinary. It's pretty cool. I love it. Hey Giles, you left for a minute. Now where'd you go? Hi, there you are. Are you okay? Can I bring you forward? Do you want to share what you got going on?
Well, I'm trying to do a fish, but like I haven't printed it yet.
Okay, you're still carving?
Yeah.
Do you want to show the carving or do you want me to come back to you?
Come back to me.
Perfect. Are you having fun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody look at the ceiling over there. He has the phone pointed to the ceiling. Now that in itself is a piece of art and his dad did it. And I know how much time went into every little square, every little part of that ceiling. Like they have the most beautiful ceiling I've ever seen in my whole life. Who would think of a ceiling as a piece of art? Well, his dad. So you wonder why Giles has all this artistic stuff oozing out of him? Yeah, well, so does his dad. And his mom. She's got a great artist heart. I'm coming back to you. I want to see your fish, okay? Oh, look at this. Okay, Jai, look at this fish. yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Get your face over, Matt, so I can see it. And see.
Window! Look at your window.
Look at how all the fishes are facing in. And you got black to work. Sometimes to just get everywhere, and it worked. That is so awesome. And there's a fish. So I have given, some of you are there where you have done your 2 little squares. So you have 2 more squares. I don't care what you do with them. You can do whatever designs you want. I showed you the mandala type. I showed you the pop art Andy Warhol type. You could also just do a 1 print where you put it right in the middle. That would be okay. And just do a 1 print on one of these. It would be kind of framed onto this. I don't have one colored that you could see, but you could do a 1 print or you could tile the whole thing. I also gave you a big paper, okay? And if you do the big paper, again, I suggest drawing it, tracing it over here, maybe trace it twice. I only gave you 1 big rectangle and I gave you 6 papers to print on. And so kind of think of that as your, like your final finale, awesome piece if you want. I mean, who cares? Whatever you do, it's going to be great. But look at this idea. So there's some energy put into that design, okay? And it's printed the exact same design 4 different ways on that bigger paper. So have you all taken a second to look at the screen before I put that down? So look up for 1 second. You're all so invested in what you're doing, but make your last painting, take some time to come up with the design. Grifflin, I could see you doing exactly what you're doing on your big paper, you could do a part of that on one of those foams and then print it a few ways. Could be interesting because the design that you got going is fantastic. Here's, let's see. You could do your portrait. We had talked about that last week. If you want to do one of those and print that a few times, or a flower, or a mandala, or a dog. But when you're creating that, keep in mind positive and negative space so that the background is just as interesting as the foreground and that there's texture. So I think we're learning that. You seem to be getting that in your designs. Anybody else have something that's working they want to share? Zoe, do you want to show me what's going on over there? Okay, I got you unmuted, so I've already hit unmute. Go ahead. Oh my goodness. Earth Day. Thank you for bringing it up. Why didn't I bring it up? I've known all day it's Earth Day, and I meant to bring it up. Thank you, my flower child, for reminding us. Wouldn't that be cool? Show that again, because that would be an awesome way to look at that Earth. Oh, that's so cool. Yes. How's it going, Gabby? Are you getting it to work?
No, so I just decided to color it.
Which is great. Hold it up. Let's see what's going on. It still looks like Andy Warhol.
But I did like heart balloons.
Oh, that's so cute.
So,
It still looks like Andy Warhol. Good job.
and then when you said like how he did the soup,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago I did kind of like the soup.
Show me.
I did like a pledge bottle.
What? Show me. I want to see.
It's not that good, and it's not.
It's kind of like we talked about a couple weeks ago, a boring old tool or scissors. Oh, nice. You can take something ordinary and make it extraordinary. That's what artists do. That's why this earth needs artists, because we bring the magic to the world, right? Yeah. A boring old pledge bottle, and you make it magic. Thanks, Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. That's a great theme for your final little project. I love it. Yes, so much to be grateful for with our Mother Earth. She gives and gives and gives, doesn't she? Macy, I haven't heard from your great face for a minute. What's going on over there? Hi.
I'm on my third piece of the.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I'm just pressing it down right now. So.
okay, you're doing great. Some of you won't get to all of this before we end our session, and don't feel bad. Ooh, Jai, you've got something great. I'm coming to you next. Hang in there. I'm coming to you in just a second.
Okay.
See what Mason got. Oh, nice. Very different colors, very different prints all the way around. Put your cute face next to it. You kids are so cute. I feel so lucky that I get to hang out with you. Thanks for inviting me into your space. I feel so lucky. You're doing great. Is it making sense?
What?
Do you feel like you're learning as you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, and whenever you want, grab another foam and start over. Try a new design. And you could do just one print on it, or, you know, use your bigger papers to do, you know, however you want. I just cut a bunch of paper, and I know you'll figure it out. Okay. Jai, where's my boy? Come on in, buddy. What have you got? Hey, check him out. Nice fish. That's so cute. Whoa, I love it. Good work. It works because you've carved out all of that white. It really showed up. Cool. You having fun?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having fun looking at your ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great. Keep it going. And whenever, and hey, Jai, you can print on any of those papers, right? So all of these white papers are for you, and these papers however you want to print. I just cut a whole bunch in hopes that printing on them. Good job, pal.
Stop it. Don't talk like that.
Oh my goodness, Hallie. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's see what's going on here. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh. Okay. Oh my gosh, these are so working. Okay, show me. I want to see one at a time. Do you mind? Okay. Okay, there's your mandala. Fantastic. Oh my gosh, this cherry. Are you kidding me?
We did them different colors.
I love it. They're all just different and wild. I swear that needs to go in a frame. Don't just toss it away. Tell your mom. Josie, could we put your cute little face in a frame too? Is your brother doing your hair with a sponge? So nice.
No.
That's why I gave you the sponge, is to sponge bath. Nice. Hey, Eli, is your art working?
Yes. Oh, yeah, so for yours. I made it really well. My what? Oh.
You made it well so hard. Look at her face. She's like, okay, I'm getting a sponge bath. Whoa, Eli, put your face in there. Hold up so I can see Josie's too. Nice, that worked. Good job. David's voice. Cool.
Dad, shh.
He's fine.
Dad playing Fortnite.
Oh, that's cute. You're doing great. Are you guys having fun?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Hi, Josie. Are you having fun bathing with the sponge? Good job.
Do it.
No.
Sometimes when you give someone a sponge, it's for a sponge bath. Good job. She's all clean. You see, it's Earth Day. I'm trying to make sure everybody's clean for Earth Day. Oh, you kids are funny. Okay, any others that want to bring it in and share what they've got? Hello, Miss Claire. Okay, let me see. Hi, Cole, back there. Hi, Cole. Good to see you. Oh, wow. Put your face next to it. Claire, little cutie. Oh my gosh, that looks awesome. You are a true Andy Warhol printmaker. Good job. Have you done printmaking before, Claire?
Like once in school, but
Have you done it in school? Have you done it with markers before? To be honest, I never have. This is a first for me. Kind of fun. Makes it easy. We can do it anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being here. It's awesome.
Thanks for having me.
You are darling. Okay, we've got another one coming in. Hi.
Hi, I finished my butterfly one.
Okay, perfect. Amazing. Put your face next to it. Cool. So many textures, so many different, it's like each one is its own piece of art, huh?
Yeah.
Good job. What are you going to do for your next pieces?
What?
What are you going to do for your next pieces? Have you thought about that?
I might make one for my little brother.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cute family. Maybe you could make it and you could have him help you color it and do different prints.
Yeah.
I love it when you take this with your family. So everybody's welcome to take these supplies and share with their family and teach their family. Yes. Hi, Zoe.
I made a bigger version of this.
Oh my gosh. Oh, move your face. I want to see your face. Yep. Thank you, Earth Day. I love the heart too. I love that you did the background. So you could print that several times and you could make cards out of it. Printmaking's great for making stationery or cards. Yeah. Good job, Gabby. You're twirling the sponge. You're doing a great job. And you look cozy in that blanket. I'm going to admit, I'm not going to lie. Okay. Starting to wrap it up here. Hi, Katie. What you got?
So I did this one, and then I made it all close together.
Okay, so wait. Tell me how you did this differently.
So I put them. There's like a line in between them because I put them,
Yeah.
and then I put these together.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of an actual tile that you would put on a floor, and there's like grout, you know, that little stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. That's kind of what a lot of times they'll make tiles like that. Like, have you seen those fancy Mexican tiles where they design it that way, and they'll design just a fourth of it and then put it in really cool patterns on the floor?
Yeah.
You're a designer. How's it going, Matt? You doing okay? Are you
Just made a
big one? What's that guy?
the worm.
Yeah, it is.
Couldn't think of anything else to do. So I made a worm.
Just look at this goldfish.
Yeah, I know. It's like, put it back up. Put it back up. Put that goldfish back up. Move it so I can see your face. Cute, Matt. Put it right between your two faces.
Okay. There.
Pose, that works.
Right there.
We got it. Amazing. Yeah. Hi, Brooke. Hello. How are you? Good. Good to see you. Thanks for sharing these darling kids with me.
Oh, thank you. Helps pass the day.
For me too. I love it. And then it occupies my entire weekend putting together those kits, I have to admit. Oh,
Mom.
seriously.
Mom.
All right, Mom.
But what else do I have to do? You know, it's perfect. Okay, we just have a few more minutes, so we'll be wrapping up. I haven't heard from these cute girls. Do you want to share what's going on over here? You guys doing okay?
Yep.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
charging along.
Just working on this.
Oh, great design. Thank you for giving it so much attention. You're being so careful. I love that. Yeah. Amazing. Gwen, you doing okay?
I'm just playing with the sponge.
It seems to be the theme for this class. You know what's funny is last class my dog came down. I closed the door so he hasn't come down. And I was talking about texture. So I was touching his face and I was squishing his nose and his lips and all the parts of texture. And every kid went and got their pet, and it became a pet show and tell. It was hilarious. And one had a lizard, and that was scaly texture, and the others had a cat. Someone brought in a chicken, for reals, shared their chicken. So yeah, and today's theme is play with the sponge. So every group has their own ideas. Okay. And I think I lost. Where did Grifflin go? This isn't showing up here. So these might take, when I look at Lily's, that might take another 3 days or a couple hours. So you really don't have a timeline with this class, which is kind of nice, to be honest, because sometimes it's hard to time my classes where kids don't quite finish or they're finished too early. So with this, you're welcome to extend it, obviously, to into your week, and you can come back to it. You can spend all the time in the world, or you can move on from it. So, yes. And if you'll do me a favor and don't lose that little embossing tool, we're going to use that in our clay. It makes it's really good for carving and making texture in our clay as well. I really should finish one of these big ones. This print. Happy heard me say texture, so she wanted to come show her scruffy face and her squishy nose. Say hi, Happy. Do you like all my art, students? She's saying hi to Katie in London. Hi. Hi. Hi, Macy. Hi, Hallie. Hi, Lily. Hi, Annie. Happy saying hi to Annie. Hi, Gwen. Are there any last little shows that we want to show before we end this? I've made a pretty good circle to kind of see where everybody is, but maybe there's been more progress. Any of the big ones? Any last pieces you want to share before we end it? One more for you, Gabby?
No.
Okay, just
Oh yeah, I did one of them on my arm.
oh, I have not seen that. Show me. Hold it up close.
It's just colored. Didn't really show. I don't know.
Yeah,
Didn't really show.
yes. Your mom will be thrilled when in art we were doing printmaking all over our bodies. I love it. Why not? Yeah. Thanks for being here, cute girl.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Macy. Macy's got something great to show before we end this. Hello.
I'm starting making this for my little brother.
Oh my gosh. Little Spidey guy. He's gonna love it. What a great idea. You are so, yeah. You are so creative.
Thanks, Jill.
I'm gonna put everybody on unmute and I'm gonna put everybody on gallery mode.
Hi.
So if you all want to wait at each other.
Vivian, come here. Jill.
Thank you,
Vivian!
Jill.
Love you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. Bye.
wait, hold on.
Thank you, Jill.
Ice cream.
Bye.
Bye.
London, put your face over there. Hold it up. Let it go.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, London. That's awesome. Love you guys. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye, Jill.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Your kids will be ready.